Hi scholars, welcome back to Read Aloud, where we get to continue with Dolphins at Daybreak. This is part 4, so we're going to have one more after this because there are 5 parts. We know that we're reading this text and working on identifying character motivation. Character motivation is why the character does something. How do we figure out character motivation? Yeah, we have to ask ourselves, well, what does the character want? And how does the character feel? That'll help us understand our characters. Yesterday, you figured out why the octopus squirt out black ink. And we had read that the octopus squirts out black ink to escape enemies like sharks. So the octopus wanted to escape a nearby shark, so it released all of that black ink. Nice job figuring out the character's motivation, even though we were talking about an octopus and not a character that has a normal name. Let's read today to figure out more. We're going to pick back up on chapter 7. It's called Remain Calm. I wonder if someone's going to be in a stressful situation. So remember, we had just seen where Annie and Jack saw the shark. The shark swam behind the coral. "Where did it go?" said Annie, peering out the window. "It doesn't matter," said Jack. "We have to get to the top." "More water's coming in," said Annie. "Yeah, I know. Come on, faster!" Jack ordered the mini sub. "Even more water's coming in," said Annie. "Lots more." Let's stop and think for a second. Why is Jack shouting at the mini sub? He's shouting, "Faster, faster." Why is he shouting that at the mini sub? What does Jack want? Well, yeah, Jack wants to get to the surface before the mini sub fills with water. So we know in the text, it says, we have to get to the top. And it doesn't matter if the shark is wherever the shark is, because Jack says we have to get to the top because more water is coming in, according to Annie. That lets us know Jack is feeling pretty nervous and scared. He just wants to get to the top at where he can be safe. He doesn't want to keep waiting to figure out where the shark is. He wants this mini sub to move faster. Jack looked up. The water wasn't dripping now. It was spurting. That means it's getting even worse. A few seconds, said Jack. Suddenly, the mini sub burst out of the water. It bobbed on the waves like a cork. The ocean sparkled all around it. "Safe!" shouted Annie. Say, "Phew, phew." Jack felt the water rising around his bare feet. Not really," he said. "Oops," said Annie. "The octopus must have made cracks in the bottom too." The water was up to their ankles now. Jack looked down. He saw the reef in the distance. "The sub can make it. It doesn't look that far," he said. "Go, go, go," said Annie. She pressed one of the steering keys. Suddenly, the screen went blank. "What's happening?" said Jack. Annie pressed the keys again. Then Jack pressed the other pictures. Nothing happened. Why are Jack and Annie pressing all of these keys after this blank screen popped up? Why are they doing that? What do these characters want? Yeah, Jack and Annie want to figure out what's going on. We know that because in the text, it says suddenly the screen went blank. "What's happening?" said Jack, and Annie pressed the key again. Then Jack pressed the other pictures. So they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're so confused and they just want to know what's going on, so they think that they might be able to figure it out if they just start pressing all of these buttons. Thumbs up if you think that's a good idea. Thumbs down if you think that's a poor decision. I think that's not the best decision. They might mess it up more. Let's keep reading. "It's dead," said Annie. "Oh, great," said Jack. Now the water was up to their knees. "I guess we'll have to swim," said Jack. He took a deep breath. "Right," said Annie. "It's a good thing we had swimming lessons this summer." "Right," said Jack. "And it's a bad thing we just saw a shark." Jack quickly found the picture of the shark in the book. He read aloud, "If you ever see a shark in the water, don't splash. Swim calmly away." Why does Jack keep going back in the book? What is Jack trying to do? What does Jack want? Why is Jack going back in the book? Do you guys know? Well, Jack just said right, and it's a bad thing we just saw a shark. And I know he wants to stay safe, and he wants more information about what to do when you see a shark. So that must be why Jack opens up the book for more information. Jack wants to learn more so that he can handle the situation the right way. Jack closed the book. "We better do breaststroke," said Annie, "so that we don't splash." "Yep, and stay close," said Jack. "Very close," said Annie. Her eyes were wide, but she seemed very calm. Jack took a deep breath. Let's do it with him. He tried to be calm too. He calmly took off his glasses. He calmly put them and the book into his pack. He calmly put his pack on his back. Annie opened the hatch. "Be calm," Annie said, and she slipped out of the mini sub. "Help," Jack said calmly. He held his nose, and then he calmly lowered himself into the ocean. How would you be feeling if you were in Jack and Annie's situation? If you had just been in a broken mini sub and now you're having to escape into the water where you know there is a shark. I'd be feeling pretty nervous, but Jack and Annie are doing a good job of staying calm. They're using some of those techniques we've talked about before, about deep breaths to help you stay calm and not get too worked up. Chapter 8 is called Swim for Your Life. Jack moved his arms slowly. He moved his legs slowly. He gently pushed the water out of his way as he did the breaststroke. "Calm, calm," he told himself. Hey, that's another thing that we've practiced. We've practiced using self-talk before. Annie swam beside him. They headed for the reef. All was calm. Then Jack saw something out of the corner of his eye. A dark fin was zigzagging through the water. It was heading towards them. Jack wanted to splash. He wanted to yell, but he remembered. Calm. I better not tell Annie, he thought. She'll stay calmer if she doesn't know. He began to swim faster, then faster. Annie went faster too. They both swam as fast and as calmly as they could. Sometimes Annie went even faster than Jack, which made him swim faster and faster. Jack was so scared that he wasn't tired at all. He was swimming for his life and for Annie's life too. He didn't look back to see if the shark was still there. He didn't want to know. He just kept his eye on the treehouse in the distance, and he kept swimming. That's surprising. Why didn't Jack want to know if the shark was still there? Let's think about that. What did Jack want? Well, we know that Jack's been telling himself to stay calm. So we know that Jack wanted to stay calm, and he won't be able to if he knows that there's a shark there. And we know that because in the text, it says up at the top of page 49, Jack wanted to splash, he wanted to yell, but he remembered calm. That lets us know Jack is reminding himself, even though that this is scary, I just would rather not know. Let me stay focused on being calm. That's a great job for Jack and an impressive skill that he was able to stay calm. Jack and Annie swam and swam and swam. It took forever for the treehouse to get just a little bit closer. Jack realized the reef was farther away than he had thought. He kept swimming, but his arms and legs felt heavy. Annie was struggling too. Float, she said, float. Jack and Annie turned onto their backs. They floated the way that they had learned in swimming class. We'll just rest for a minute, Jack thought. Then we'll keep going. But the more Jack floated, the more tired he felt. Soon, he was too tired even to float. He started to sink. I'm wondering why Jack decided to start floating even though he wasn't safe yet. He had not made it back to the treehouse, but he still decided to float. What does Jack want? Well, we know that Jack is tired. He needs and wants a break. He wants to rest, and he thinks, okay, we could still be safe while we're floating. And I know that because he started talking about how his arms and legs felt heavy. That lets me know he wants that break. And I know he thinks that they'll be okay because he says, we'll just rest for a minute, Jack thought. Okay, let's see if that works. Then he felt something. His heart stopped. Something pushed him in the water. It was slippery and alive. Had the hammerhead caught up with them? Jack shut his eyes and waited for the worst. He waited and waited. And finally, he opened his eyes. I think we're going to stop there, scholars. We're going to pick up tomorrow for you to see what happens when Jack opened his eyes. I want to stop there because I want you to stop and practice finding character motivation. We're going to practice finding Jack's motivation. Why did Jack shut his eyes and wait for the worst? Why did Jack do that? He just shut his eyes and waited for the worst. Why did Jack do that? I'm looking for you guys to meet the CFS when you give your answer. Include the character's name, name the character's wants, and provide your text evidence. You guys have the video of all of the text evidence that you can go back to watch and listen to. You guys have got it, and I know you're going to be able to find Jack's motivation.